Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're taking a look at MARVO's S1 Bigbang. This is the KG934 compact RGB gaming keyboard. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at MARVO's Bigbang S1. This is a 10 keyless type design, a slightly smaller keyboard for those of you that like to have a little bit more extra space on your desk. It's got some really nice Outemu 50mm key press switches, which are blue, tactile and clicky, and they are going to be giving you a roughly 60 gram pressure for pressing your keyboard, so they are going to take a little bit more of a hammering than some other keyboards such as the browns and the reds, etc, etc. So this is basically a hardcore keyboard. It's going to take a lot of knocks and bangs. Again, 50mm keystrokes have been tested and that is what it is rated for. You also got a really nice metal shell around the keyboard itself and subframe, so it's all going to keep it all nicely together. You've got a compact design, like I said, with 89 keys. Also, you've got RGB with 11 effects. You've got full N key rollover support. You've got some double shot molded keycaps as well. So obviously as time goes on, you're not going to wear away the legends on the keys, which is awesome. You can, of course, if you want to. These are based on kind of like Cherry MX stems. So if you want to at some point, you can change the keycaps out should you wish to, but the ones that are included are absolutely fine. So you probably won't need to. But I think that's enough of an introduction. Let's take this thing out of the box and see what it's all about. So first of all, looking actually at the box, it's a really nice design, really nice packaging, and you can get a pretty good idea of what the keyboard's all about. Obviously, it's designed by MARVO, mechanical keyboard, model number KG934, as we said, the S1 Bigbang. You've got full anti-ghosting support. You've got a driver support program, so if you want to, you can actually install software for this keyboard to take control of things like your RGB, macros, and all those kinds of cool things. And obviously this one has got blue switches. Whether or not they're going to do another model with either reds or browns, I'm not entirely sure. At the moment, as far as we're concerned here in the UK, with this UK layout, we are currently set at Outemu Blues. On the back of the keyboard box, pretty much more of the same. So it says about the mechanical blue switches and also seamless gaming. So we've got full N key support and anti-ghosting, all that kind of good stuff. And individually backlit RGB keys. Absolutely brilliant. So let's take out the box and see what we actually get. So it comes in the inner case with the MARVO Pro Gaming logo on there. This is part of the MARVO Pro range. There's a couple of ranges that MARVO do, the standard range and the Pro range. This is from the Pro range. So starting off inside the box, we get our MARVO Scorpion style sticker. There's also a installation guide, which is extremely small and compact. It basically says, plug it in, install the software, you're off to the races. Obviously, if you don't want to, you don't have to install the software. That is entirely optional. You get the Born for Gaming kind of ID badge on there. A little bit of foam to protect the keyboard. There is a keycap puller, always nice to see. And then we get the keyboard itself. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the box and we'll take a closer look at it. Now they say first impressions count, and actually in this particular instance they really do. So the keyboard's actually got a really nice weight to it. It's got a nice design, let's say, compact, so a little bit smaller than normal keyboards. So where normally you'd have your scroll lock and all that kind of stuff, then that section is basically removed. You still get your number pad, so that is really nice, and also you get your arrow keys, which some people, especially if you're a left-handed person like myself, then generally you're going to probably use those rather than using the ASDW, that sort of thing. Again, this is going to save a little bit of space on your desktop. The actual top plate here, all metal all the way through, so that's really nice, and you've got a really nice kind of diamond cut edge to it, which looks actually quite premium. The keycaps themselves, really nice legend on this. I really do appreciate the legend they've used on this. Very clear, very crisp, even with the backlighting completely off, as you can see at the moment. Everything is totally legible, so if you're one of those people that actually doesn't like RGB at certain times of the day, depending where the sun's coming through your living room windows or whatever, then you can turn it off and still make use of the keyboard very easily. All of the keys have actually got pretty much multiple functions, so obviously things like the escape key doubles up as the record key for recording macros. And also you've got things like you can set individual settings there. So you've got CM1 through to 5, which are built-in control methods for various different games, which you can, again, customize entirely. For those of you living in Euroland, then there is also the E key for the Euro, which you can use on the keyboard. And you've got other cool features. So you've got your Windows lock key. You've also got full media support. So you've got the media support buttons. So the media button will open up our media app of your choice. You've also got things like volume up, down, and mute, etc. And also playback features. You've got stop, rewind, play pause and fast forward, and then moving along to the other section there. So we've got the lighting button, and also you've got your scroll lock, pause, etc, etc, brightness, all those kinds of usual things that you'd expect to see on a keyboard. And also the up, down, left, right keys also double up as well for things like speed and brightness, that kind of stuff for the RGB lighting. But again, you probably won't need to use that, so you can install the software and take full control. Now let's take a listen to what the keys are actually like, because this is going to be a big part of whether or not you actually like this keyboard. It is a little bit clicky, but it is extremely tactile. So let's take a look at what the keys actually sound like. So I'm actually going to put this down so we can get a better idea, and you should be able to hear this really easily through the mic. The keys are actually quite hard to press. That 60-gram actuation force does make a difference, especially if you're used to using something like the red linears, that kind of thing. But it does feel very responsive, and for gaming purposes, yeah, it's going to be very accurate for moving around in the maps, etc. And actually they feel really good. They feel really well supported. There's a little bit of wiggle on the keycaps, but very, very minimal. The sort of thing you're used to seeing with Cherry MX type stems. Yeah, feels really nice, very clicky. I'm looking over at my mic monitor over there, and I think I've clipped a couple of times, so I do apologise for that. But yep, there is the noise of the keyboard. So that is what it sounds like. That's what the deck's like. There's virtually no flex in it, even really straining. It doesn't really want to move. That is mostly in part to that metal top deck on there, which is keeping everything firmly in place. The bottom is actually plastic, as you probably expect from most keyboards these days. It's very rare to see a metal bottom section, but on the bottom we do get some rubber stabilizing pads on the front there. None on the back, weirdly, although it does feel slightly textured, but it doesn't appear to be rubber, although there is a little bit of grip to it. So they've done a kind of unusual thing there with the plastics. It does almost feel rubberized, but it doesn't appear to be totally. Almost like it's got a very, very shallow coating on there of something. So these are adjustable, so obviously you can adjust the rake of the keyboard, and those are actually really nice clicky feet on there to keep things nice and stable. On the back you've got the details of the keyboard, the model number, etc, etc. Also, you'll notice on the bottom there are some drainage holes. And also on the sides, we've got some ventilation sections for letting RGB lighting bleed through onto the sides, which is another one of the key features of this keyboard. It's the slightly unusual lighting patterns, which no doubt you've seen from some B-roll. The actual sections there for letting out moisture or water, etc. This keyboard, bizarrely, is actually rated IPX7, which is pretty high. I was surprised about that. I've double checked it on the actual box, and I've double checked it on the website, and it does appear that it is IPX7 rated. So the occasional spill or dropping of your favourite fizzy drink probably isn't going to do a great deal of damage. Obviously it's not recommended. I wouldn't go pouring water and fluids over it just for the sake of it, but certainly if you do, it's not going to be too dramatically bad. Looking at the actual cable, so connectivity, we've got a 1.5 meter cable, which is all fully braided. There's also a MARVO strap there as well, so you can do a little bit of cable management, and it terminates in a USB 2.0 plug. So this can be compatible with pretty much every device on the planet as long as it supports USB. So Android boxes, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, etc, etc. It's going to work with pretty much everything, so you shouldn't have any problems there at all. Even things like modern smart TVs will take this very, very easily. So if you wanted to use it in that particular instance, then you definitely could do. So I think that's it for a quick introduction. Let's get this thing plugged in and we'll see what the lighting is actually like. So there we go, there is the keyboard fired up. We've got just a basic USB extension running from the PC behind to the keyboard. And I think it looks really, really nice. Again, I'll try and get you some close-ups of this so you can see it in its full glory. The per-key lighting is very, very nice indeed, and comes through the keycaps exceptionally well. And hopefully the camera is doing it justice. It really does look, it is the proper job, it really is. I really do like the lighting on this. And there's little things like the accents on the side there, where you've got a little bit of kind of bleed through, so that is going to go through onto the desk. So if we put it onto the desk now, again, you probably see from some of the B-roll we've done, you see there's a little bit of side bleed on there, so yeah, just a nice little effect. I've not seen it on any other keyboard, so just a new one on me. I actually quite like it. So again, to take control of the RGB, you can use the RGB cycle button on the top there. So just press the function button and that key there, and then you can cycle through the various lighting styles, of which there are around about 11 or so, different variations of the same sort of thing. I do like that. The raindrop effect looks quite pretty. If you don't like that kind of full-on RGB effect, This does limit that a little bit. Obviously you can change brightness, etc, etc, if you want to. You can cycle through. There is a kind of like a static color as well, so if you don't like flashy lights everywhere, then you can remedy that. And then you've got the kind of cycle through, and you can change the speeds and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, very nice, like it a lot. The keycaps come off very easily. You can, if you want to, use the keycap puller. Again, these are double shot caps, which is very nice, injection molded. And then that reveals the blue Outemu switches in there, which again, 50 million key press lifespan, very clicky. And it's just nice to see a little mechanical switch in there doing its thing. So very cool indeed. I think it's probably a good idea now if we head over to the PC now. I'll go through quickly the software so you can see what settings you can change actually in that. Okay, so here we are. This is the Windows 11 desktop, and we've already got the software installed. So double click on that one. And this is the software. So again, you can see the lighting effects and all that kind of stuff. You've got different profiles you can set up there, etc, etc. Not very much going on here. Obviously, you can change key assignments, macros, media, etc, all that kind of stuff. And if you go into lighting, you can choose a different lighting style. So we've got absolute tons there. I think there's about 11 or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope, there's more, there's 15. So they've added a few more to the list. So you've got rainbow wheel, click apply, and it'll go through and make the changes, all that kind of usual stuff. So yeah, pretty basic stuff, but there is software, so you obviously can take control. It doesn't appear that the lighting effect is replicated on the screen for some reason. Whether or not that's because this version of the software, not entirely sure, but it's there so you can change it and change your brightness, your speeds, etc, etc. In the macro editor, obviously you can start recording and choose your macros, all that kind of good stuff. But essentially, yeah, pretty basic software, but gets the job done. And if you want to use it, obviously you can do. Not entirely necessary. I think probably a lot of people will probably go without it, but it's there if you want to use it. Okay, so there you go. There is the software, pretty basic stuff, but gets the job done. Realistically, I think most people probably won't need the software. It is all clearly laid out on there, and as you can see, we've changed the lighting effect now. It's going through the cycle effect, which does look very, very nice. So let's wrap this up. My opinions, price-wise, is something we haven't discussed yet. Now, price-wise, this is something which actually surprised me. For a Outemu Blue Switch keyboard with software support, with a really nice metal deck and all that kind of good stuff, 10 keyless design, etc, etc, you would expect to be paying quite a lot of money for this. Now, I've actually done a quick search on Google just now, put in the model number, and I found it for as low as £27 here in the UK, which I think is absolutely phenomenal value for money. The estimated retail price of this street price is normally somewhere in around the sort of £30 to £35, so you definitely will be able to pick up some bargains. I think personally, with this kind of level of quality, the keycaps, the switches, etc, etc, basically the whole overall package, I think this is going to be very popular on the market. But do let us know what you think about this one in the comment section below. I should say thank you to Marvo for sending us this for review purposes, and actually, I've got to be honest, I'm pleasantly surprised. For the money and the quality, this could actually end up being my daily driver. It really could. And considering some of the other keyboards I'm using, like the Corsair K70, etc, that is very high praise indeed. So anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. But for the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.